Now, look, I found this next topic very interesting. A leaked memo has revealed former President Joe Biden's advisors convinced him to hold an early summer debate with Donald Trump last year, insisting it would allow him to reach the widest audience possible. It says, quote, "In addition, the earlier you are able to debate, the better, so that the American people can see you standing next to Trump and showing the strength of your leadership compared to Trump's weakness and chaos." Gee, Sean, I couldn't help but notice there that these bizarre capital and bold references to the president. What do you make of the strategy to get up and in front of the audiences as early as possible?
There's a few things that jumped out at me. Number one, I feel like the only thing that was missing is like pictures. Like it looked like it was written for a 12-year-old. You should do this because you're the best. You're so great. You should come out on top on this. It's rather embarrassing, and it lends credence to this argument that he really wasn't in charge and the aides were running the White House. I have a feeling if you dove deep into the origins of this, the only one that would be smart enough to put their name on it would be Kamala Harris, because the idea that somehow he would do well at a 9 o'clock debate early on in the cycle is nuts. Nobody with a brain thought that that was a good idea. It was literally a political suicide mission. And that's why I think that, it's got to be the Kamala people that wrote it, because no one who actually likes Joe Biden, who supported him, would think that this was a good idea.
Yeah, and clearly the aides were running him for far too long, as we know. Now, look, Democratic lawmakers say their voters are enraged at the lack of ability to counter Donald Trump's agenda, some even saying that they could resort to violence. Axios has spoken to over 24 House Democrats to measure the temperature of the base, and it found that there was red-hot anger and a burgeoning desire to circumvent the rule of law. Gee, Sean, whatever happened to the so-called tolerant left?
I mean, look at who they quoted in there. Now, most of the lawmakers are nameless and anonymous, but this isn't some party grassroots leader in some random county in America. These are elected officials saying that it's going to take us getting shot and shedding blood because that's what's going to get attention. It's sad because if you are an elected official and you are actually using that as a strategy, that violence or bodily injury are tactics that make sense, think about where you are as a party, what you think is acceptable in this country. I mean, there are so many levels of wrong in that whole statement and that story, because it seems to me that aside from just random political rhetoric, this is scary. We continue to see elevated political violence in this country. So when I was in the White House, the former whip in the House of Representatives, Steve Scalise, and other members of the Republican conference were shot. Some almost died. Then you saw Donald Trump be, 2 assassination attempts on him. These lawmakers out in Minnesota just recently who were targeted. There is a problem here in this country with violence. And the left not only won't talk about it, denounce it, but it's almost like this is part of their strategy, and it's sad and frankly demented.
Yes, of course, but the left will keep telling you that they are so tolerant and so accepting, as we know that that's their mantra. Sean Spicer, it's always good to chat with you. Thanks so much for joining me on the show.
As always, thank you.